All right, so in this video, what I'm going to do is move on a little bit from how to name your tools and how to put them into the ATC library to actually putting the tool in the machine and doing the actual measurement with the tool setting probes. So as you can tell right here, I've got my 1/2" tool that we set up a little bit ago, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I am in the TMC screen again, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring this tool and actually put it in the machine, okay? So again, it thinks it's already in there, as you can tell in the screen, but it's in my hand physically. So all I'm going to do is reach into the machine and push the button, put it in the spindle and let go. So now it is actually in the screen. So the next thing I'm going to do, I have a couple ways to do this. First of all, no matter where the machine is positioned, it will automatically find the tool probe. So I don't have to move it. Sometimes I'll use the MPG just to get it closer faster. So I'm going to just move it down where it's somewhere in the vicinity of that thing, and then I'm going to hang it back up. So you'll notice down here on my horizontal keys that there's a button that says measure the tool. So I go to measure tool, and obviously it's going to measure the tool that's in the spindle. So my choices are to measure it manually, either in length or diameter, or automatically in length or diameter. I wouldn't do this manually unless I didn't have a tool probe, and almost every single one of these machines is going to be sold with a tool probe because it's so much more useful. So I'm just going to go to length auto. You'll see that that highlights. And the great things that you're going to start learning about the way the SINUMERIK works is you have all these animations and automatic pictures that show you this is what I'm about to do, right? I'm going to touch the top of that probe. So in here it's got my tool information, right? And I'm going to cover a little bit of this in a minute, but I'm going to do my tool offset automatically, right? And you'll see in here that there's a length. Now I want to show you a little bit differently on how this works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that tool back out for a minute and give you an idea of some things, right? So I'm going to come back in here just to give you a little bit more physicality to this. I'm going to take the tool back out. And normally, if you remember right, when I set up that tool, I set up that tool with a fictitious length in it, right? In here I had it at 4 inches, right? And that's how it was when we left the last video. What I would actually have to do is give the machine a basic idea of how long it is. So if I take something like a tape measure and I just measure that, I would say that it's a little bit more than 4 inches, maybe 4 1/4 long from the flange to the tip. So that's where that 4 inches that I was cheating with came from. So let's just put in 4 1/4, okay? That puts me about where I should be. Then I'm going to put it back in the spindle, like so. And when I go back to the TSM screen and I'm in my measure tool button, all I've got to do is push cycle start, okay? Now I have to close the door for this. I don't have it jumped right now. So when I hit cycle start, you're going to see that it starts moving down slowly. And then when it gets about a 1/2 inch above it, it's going to slow down and it's going to make sure that it's directly on top. Now, there is the ability to tell it that if that tool is any bigger than a 1/2 inch, it has to offset to catch the tips of the tool flutes. But in this case, it'll fit right from there. So once it touched off, it moved back up, and you'll see up in here under the L value, it shows that it's actually 4.4041. That's the real length of that tool, okay? Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is how you measure diameter, right? So we know it's a 1/2 inch end mill, but as most people know, end mills vary from one to another in just size itself, right? So I'm going to hit the back key, and I'm going to come in here to diameter auto, okay? So now there's 2 ways to do this. For now, I'm going to show you the first way, which is just to check the diameter, right? So what I want to do, and you can tell from the animation, it's going to come in and it's going to touch while it's running, and it's going to be running in reverse so it doesn't actually cut the puck, and it's going to measure the actual size of the tool, right? So I'm going to go into there, I'm going to hit cycle start, and in cycle start it's going to move over, turn on the spindle, and then it's going to come in and very slowly touch that puck. So when it touches that puck, you'll see it change direction, and then it'll move back out, and it'll come up and it'll shut off, and it shows me that my actual diameter of that tool is 0.5168. But if you're really trying to find a more accurate way of measuring this, you'll see this question right here says, check the teeth individually. So if I highlight that and say yes, Now it's going to actually figure out where those 3 flutes are and touch each one and make an average and tell from the largest one what that size is, right? So I'm going to hit cycle start again. Now you're going to see it come down. It's going to take a little bit longer. It's going to touch it first, and then it's going to start rotating it ever so many degrees, and it's going to keep touching it until it finds where the high side is, and then check each flute. So that information that I put in the tool page about it having 3 flutes is very important now, because it knows how many it has to actually check. So you see it pivoting in there as it goes from one flute to the next. And eventually it will check all of the flutes to give you a more accurate size type for what that tool is. There you go. All right, so you see that the size changed slightly to 0.5153, okay? I will tell you also that the calibration process is very simple, and you actually just take a tool that you know for sure its exact size, and there's a process that will actually come down, touch the top, touch all 4 sides, and do it several times, and it'll measure that puck. But before you do that, you actually have to go in here and tell it that the puck is perfectly flat, so I have to run an indicator across it and make sure that I get it perfectly square within 1/10 of an inch. If I do that first and then probe it for the calibration, you're going to probably find a much more accurate number in here, but the process is the same, just so you understand how it works. So that kind of completes how it works. If I was going to do another tool, I can simply go select tool, grab the next tool that's in my list. It'll automatically put this one away, bring the next one in, touch it off the same way. So if I was in length, it's going to do length. If I'm in diameter, it's going to do diameter. It's actually very simple to understand. And again, the illustrations and the animations make it so easy to know what you're doing. It's fantastic. There is one more thing that I want to show you, and that's the fact that if I was going to do a tool like a face mill or something like that, I'm going to give you an idea how that works. So let me go in here and grab my face mill. So I'm going to go to select tool, and I'm going to look for that face mill. Where are you? There it is. There's my face mill. Hit OK. Right, hit cycle start. It's going to go get it. Now this is a 3-flute face mill, right? So if I want to go back and measure this tool, there's going to be one thing to consider, and that's the fact that when I go to length auto, it's the size of the tool. Now this tool has perfectly flat edges, okay, because it's for aluminum. But if I had a tool that had like a 45-degree inserts in it, then I could adjust this for the apex of where my tool inserts are, so the machine knows where to pick this tool up, right? So if in this case this was a 3.5-inch holder, but the points were at 3 inches, I could tell it that actual number here, like so, and then it'll know how to get to that exact spot so that it touches off the tools. In our case here, this tool is flat, so I'm going to leave it at 0, but you're going to see how it works the same way when I hit cycle start. Again, it's going to get down close, then it's going to turn it on in reverse. You can see from the camera that it's offset now to know where the points will be, and it's going to come down and touch off the length of that tool. And there you go, and you'll see it changed it by a couple of tenths is about all. So keep in mind, no matter what size the tool is, it's going to measure by where the actual points of the flutes are or the inserts are. And the illustrations, again, are going to keep you right on board as to where you're going to be as you're doing that different stuff. And then last but not least, if I go back to TSM and I say, hey, let's just do a tool 0, one more time, cycle start, it's going to take that tool and put it in the ATC and come out with an empty spindle.